Hello. To complete the episode of this podcast, insert 25 cents into your phone device now. Thank you. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Whatever with Jason Soto, the comedy podcast that doesn't get soggy in milk. I am your host, Jason Soto. I am back with my pals, Lisa Sally Haynes. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, hello.
And Bear. What's up, Bear?
Oh, nothing much. Just eating salmon, as bears do.
You're really adapted to this persona.
That's the persona I know. I don't know another one.
I said fursona, for the record.
That's good. I didn't hear it. Well played.
Thank you.
I like it.
So we are back. We have another brand spanking new episode. I'm liking this 2-week gap of this show.
2 weeks.
It gives me time to amp up to be funny. According to Bear, I'm never funny.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I was about to say, he
does. I beat you to it. I'm like Eminem in 8 Mile. I'm going to diss my own self so you don't do it. Ha! Ha! In your face. Anyway, we're back. And before we do this, you know what? Let's do it. I haven't done this in a while. Run P. Let's talk about Run P.
Run P. Yes.
Run P. They're an awesome app. They're really it's a cool app. The people that run it are really awesome. We had one of them, the designers, Dan, on the show a few months ago. That was a while ago now.
It was cool. We got to get him back.
Yeah,
that
we
was
got to
literally a full year ago.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't a year ago.
I feel like it was earlier this calendar year.
It was like March.
Yeah, I feel like because we were talking about some other apps that he was working on that were more relevant to the fall. Okay.
I don't know why I just had a stroke and thought. I
because
literally was
bears
sitting
don't tell time.
I was sitting here like, oh yeah, it's like March right now.
So
of 2024. So I don't know what's happening with me.
I watched a stand-up comedian whose name I'm not going to say because he's been canceled, and he did a whole bit about the years and how it's like
my face was just
we're like arbitrary just following like a year because we're basing it on Jesus, but like other religions have other years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judaism has its own calendar.
I mean,
and so apparently
this is what's called when you have all of the power and you kill lots of people, you get to pick the time.
And so Bear is apparently on their own calendar system. They just have their own thing going on. They're actually in the future. That's their own calendar system. They're a year in the future. To Bear, it's March 2024 right now.
I'm so ahead of time.
Anyway, Run P, it's an app. You download it to your phone. And then when you go to the movies, Lisa just went to go see the new Exorcist film.
I did.
I plan on seeing
the app.
And she used the app. I plan on going to see Saw X before it leaves theaters.
So good.
I'm trying to get through the movies as quickly as I can. And it's an app you download. You bring up the movie. So Lisa bought up Exorcist. What's it called? The Believer?
The Exorcist Believer.
And it tells you when during the movie is a good time to, go to the bathroom because not a lot is happening on screen. There's not a lot of plot development or anything important to the story.
Or it's really easy to summarize.
Yeah. So, it's you're not missing anything important. So you can go to the bathroom, or if you want to get a refill, you want to get a snack, anything you want to do. You bring up this app. It tells you when's a good time, how much time you have left until something cool happens. And it's a wonderful app. Me and Lisa's been using it for years.
I think over a decade by now.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Time.
Yeah, it's been around for a real long time. I remember using it a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. And it tells
cool.
you. So the cool thing is, like during the pee time, you get a quick little typed summary of what's happening. So it's not like they're saying, "Oh, it's time to go," and then you're not going to miss anything. They're telling you what you missed.
Yeah,
and it's also really good for letting you know if there's anything during or after the credits. And even if it's worth your time, like, because I've had a couple where it's just like a stupid little flash at the very end and they're like, personally, I don't think it's really worth your time, but you might like it. So, decide if you want. And like you can see what the thing is, but I usually don't because I don't like that kind of information. But
Okay,
it's
that's fair.
such a good app because they really do focus on finding really good times. And the longer the movie is, you get 3, sometimes 4 P times. It really is an outstanding app for what it needs to be.
So go check out Run P today.
Run P.
Tell them that whatever Jason Soto sent you, and they're not going to acknowledge that in the least bit.
No. Although they might retweet you.
They might retweet you, yeah.
Because they're good people for that. They like cross
now full disclosure.
No.
Full disclosure.
Cross promotion, yes.
We don't get paid for Run P. We're just talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we like
we're
them.
authentic.
And we want to support them. But what we do get paid is everything we do here at Rabbit Hole Podcast is sponsored by Audible. You can go to audibletrial.com/rabbitholepods and try it absolutely free for 30 days. I can do it without script. You can download any audiobook, original show, or podcast that you want. And after the 30-day trial has expired, you only pay $14.99 a month to get more podcasts, audiobooks, or original shows. And you can cancel anytime, even after the trial. And if you do, anything that you've downloaded, you get to keep for the rest of your life. So they don't take it away from you. They don't, you don't have to give it back. Nothing. That is yours to keep.
It's not a library book.
Exactly. So you get to keep it. You can take your time listening to Gone with the Wind if that's what you're into. So go check that out. audibletrial.com/rabbitholepods. Using that link helps us out here at the network. So thanks. And I did that with my eyes closed to prove that I did not need to read the script.
No, he basically did still just read off the script,
he just
but in his
recited
head.
it. Yeah.
It's just a recitation, yeah.
Or I just say it so goddamn much that I just have to memorize.
That's what happens. That's how repetition works.
That's what I was saying. Like you're still just doing the same thing. You've just done it so many times you know it now.
Yeah, I've done it so
Because
many times.
I can do the audible spiel from memory.
Okay.
I can't.
Oh,
I do
right.
I can just do the
audible.
I can just do the audible spiel because I've been an Audible customer for also over a decade.
All right. Well, I guess nothing important's happened. Wait, hang on. Breaking news. I'm sorry, breaking news.
Well, Metro Police and Indianapolis Animal Care Services had their hands full this evening looking for a monkey on the loose. The monkey was spotted on Iron Ridge Court near the Morningstar Golf Club on the city's east side. Police say there are multiple reports of minor injuries from the monkey, but they're not sure if those injuries are bites. An officer at the scene told News 8 witnesses saw the monkey drinking beer from a trash can, and as of now, the monkey has not been captured. It's unclear where he came from. That is a developing story, Ashley, that we will stay on top of. That's big stuff. A lot of people interested in that story.
It is.
We're getting emails.
It's an interesting story. That doesn't happen every day.
A lot of sightings, a lot of monkey sightings across.
Yeah, I've seen them all over social media today. So yeah, it's a big.
A monkey ran loose in the city of Indianapolis.
Pretty big city, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was in a very specific part of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
The Wild West of Indianapolis, which is ironically the east side. The east side of Indianapolis is the part of town you tell strangers to don't find yourself in.
This monkey said, "Fuck you! I am going."
Anything can happen.
I need a beer
on the east side. Yeah.
Somebody call the bare naked ladies. Haven't you always wanted a monkey? Now Indianapolis has its own.
So this guy,
he's like, "Fuck it, I'm going to West 29th and fucking Martin Luther King."
Yeah,
dude wants to go exploring. I understand that feeling.
A guy had a monkey and it escaped from his yard.
It's not like from a zoo.
Nope, it was a pet. A guy had a monkey in his backyard and it got loose and it ran around the east side of Indianapolis and it was like they say attacking, but it was like
it's a wild animal and people tried to catch it and it's defended itself. Probably
it showed up in people's yards and people were taking pictures of it.
Oh my god.
They called animal control. Here's the funny thing. You want to know the funny thing? The guy who owned the monkey.
Funny things.
The guy who owned the monkey posted in a Facebook group for lost pets. Says, "Hey, my monkey ran away. If you see him, can you let me know?"
It sounds like a dirty post.
Like
it
a- like a
sounds like
dog.
he's somebody trying to prank.
I will bet you any sum of money this guy lived off of like East 34th or Post.
I could maybe try to find the Facebook post.
They're not going to say where he lived. And I don't want to dox this guy on like
Well, they said like where it
podcast.
kind of started.
Or he lived off of like
But
Post.
so it was for like a full day almost. It was like really early in the morning. And the monkey has a name. Now,
I mean,
Bear, I don't know if you're
of course, if it's a
familiar with
pet.
this story, but I want to see if Lisa can guess the name. What would you think the name of the
I
monkey?
will not be able to name. I don't know. Mickey Dolenz.
You know what? You might be close because it's a Momo.
Momo.
Momo the monkey.
That's like that's like a stereotypical pet monkey name, I feel like. Like if you
How
had me
many
think of
people have monkeys that you know of?
but I just mean like in media and stuff, they always name the monkeys Momo.
I mean, no one said that this guy had any kind of originality. He went and got a small monkey for a pet. Now, for the YouTube viewers and for Lisa and Bear, I will show you what the monkey looked like, and you will see the owner as well. But that was the monkey that was running havoc on the east side of Indianapolis for a day. But
Good gracious.
yeah. So, that was a very interesting thing, and this made like national news. Like that was USA Today that I was showing you. This got across like the country. It got a segment on Stephen Colbert.
Well, yeah, because it's people's job on Colbert to find the random shit that we do in small town America. Yes,
I agree. I agree. And Indianapolis, yeah.
Indianapolis being small town America.
I
Indianapolis.
gotta say, I don't know if the Near East Side and Fountain Square is really small town, but
Yeah. So I had to talk about this because this happened where I live. And it was national news.
That is crazy pants.
And on top of that, it's on the fucking east side. And like, I don't know, Bear, if you seem really neutral about this, but the east side is fucking wild.
see, I lived there, so I do have a little bit of like
There are bears in the east side.
there's bears in the East Side.
Gotta look out.
No, so it's like I have a little bit of loyalty, but like I had a friend once who
Just
lived
once?
on the East Side. Yeah,
Sad
just
that
once.
you no
Only
longer have a friend.
yeah, I keep crushing them with my bear hugs. But he lived on the East Side, and every time I went over to his place, it was like, I need to be real safe because podcast viewers obviously don't know this, but I am very, very short and small and easily robbable. So,
Yeah, I've done it.
like every time I went and visited him, I would get like catcalled or something.
Oh.
Yep.
But I mean, it's not. There's parts of it are bad. Like 34th and Post, someone dies at 34th and Post literally like 4 times a day.
Yikes.
Like if the
Yeah.
news is on and they're like, someone died on the East Side, it's like, well, yeah, no shit. Where was it? 34th and Post? And they're like, 34th and Post? And it's like, yeah, no shit.
Yikes.
Yeah, I have a friend who I'm actually trying to get him on the podcast because he's a comedian. I'm trying to figure out how to get him on here because he's always doing stuff.
But you're famous comedian Jason Soto.
No, I know, but
There are other famous comedians out
there are unfortunately other famous comedians.
Oh, damn it.
But he lives on the east side, and his Facebook is just wild because he is always like, all this shit seems to happen by his house. There's either like gunshots, like, normal gun, but it's like fucking machine gun style. Like he's always talking about how it sounds like fucking the Iraq war is happening like outside of his house.
Yikes.
There's always some kind of crazy like car accident, or there's some people like fighting. He's always like talking about all this stuff on all of his Facebook. Like it's just weird, all the shit that happens over there. And like over here, I'm on the west side. Like, some stuff happens here, but not that often.
Well, if you're I know you're not, obviously, but the near west side, because like I'm up near Eagle Creek,
Yeah.
but the near west side is not great either. Like,
It's not east side bad.
no, but near west side, like when you're getting, because like I parked on the near west side one night. I regretted it so much. I got like stared down by people. Freaked me out. I was not a
Yikes.
fan.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
That's not what we want.
But if you go to like even the north side of Indianapolis, it's really like Meridian.
Well,
I'm sorry, Lisa, you don't know any of these places, but like Meridian, Kessler, Mapleton.
that stuff's not that bad. I've driven through there.
Have you walked through there ever?
No, because I don't really.
Because it's one thing to be in a car driving through a shitty area. It's another thing to be on foot.
Right.
Okay. I have not. You're right. I've not walked through there. I have driven through there. It doesn't look bad. Like it doesn't like look, I don't see anything that stands out to make it look like I'm in a bad neighborhood. We should drive faster.
No, but every time I've ever been in like Mapleton or Meridian Kessler, some shit has happened. Something has gone down every single time I'm there.
That is unnerving.
And
Same for near west side.
I'm also talking as someone who grew up and lived on the south side of Chicago, which is notoriously bad. I mean, Chicago, the city in itself, gets a bad rap.
I think it gets more than it deserves, though, because every time I mention that I want to go to grad school in Chicago, someone is like, some old person inevitably is like, Chicago, you're going to get shot and die.
Murdered.
And I'm like, not any more than I would in Indy.
No.
Or Providence. I mean,
plenty
of places in New England where you're going to have problems. Boston. And
it's just kind of the nature of a bigger city, but it's like Chicago isn't like this crime.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. And
I never have felt unsafe walking around in Chicago.
Me neither, actually. The closest I've gotten to feeling kind of uneasy was one time this is like 2003 or 4 or some shit. I was walking with my ex-girlfriend. We were walking from somewhere to the train station, and it was like maybe 11 o'clock at night. And there was this homeless guy who would not leave us alone. Like, he was following us as we were walking to the station, because he started saying like, "Hey man, you got, $1 or whatever." And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." And she didn't, and whatever. So we kept walking, but he kept following us, like pestering us.
I don't like anybody following me. I don't care who you are.
That was the closest I've gotten to feeling like, okay, this is fucked. He's gonna he's gonna shiv us before we get to this train station stairs. Like, like I was like, oh man, and my ex-girlfriend was freaking out. Like it was uncomfortable. But that was the only time. Like, my whole 43 years of existence, and going there maybe half that time, I've never felt unsafe. I've enjoyed it. And I know there are bad parts of Chicago, specifically the South Side. And there are probably places that are unsafe for like any person to just walk through randomly, because, people in those neighborhoods are going to be like, "Who are you?" And they might just start shooting at you. I don't know. I get that does happen, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone wants it to make it seem to be. Right. So no, it's not. And I don't think a lot of Indianapolis is that bad either.
No, most of Indianapolis is fine.
Yeah, it's really just the east side that all this wild shit happens. And then, I don't want to be one of those, like, the media, but like every time I do turn on like the local news, they literally, like, their first thing is like, "Oh, we got our 219th death in Indianapolis today."
Yeah,
and it's like, you're not helping.
That's the whole point. You're not supposed to want good news. You're not going to tune in to see that things are great happening to other people. Nobody cares about that.
it's just weird because
Yes.
like I don't know, I can't totally flack like any part of Indy or anywhere really as like a bad place because I've taken at this point now multiple classes on like systemic inequality. So every time I think about stuff like, oh, well, the East Side's shitty and a lot of shitty stuff happens there, I just get kind of sad because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, now I understand the structural injustices that went to building the East Side. Like I had a
Right.
class that focused on the East Side and all of the different environmental factors that went into making it how it is. Now it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
already in high school kind of like, I don't want to flack this place because these are all people. Like, I don't want to say,
Right.
because it's not, but it's like, oh, it's racism again.
Yeah. Downtown gets a bad rap too of Indianapolis.
Yeah, and I walk
And
around alone all the time and I'm
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Every year for Gen Con, like the past few years, I've been staying down there and I'm out walking around like 2 a.m. It's like dead. There's nobody around. There's literally
Yeah.
not a soul after like midnight. Even on like a Saturday, there's nobody around.
Yeah, I think the only bad experience I had really in downtown was literally this year's Gen Con. When I went to my car, there was some people who were like tweaking and
Oh
I
yeah.
scared them with my headlights and they like pulled up and were staring me down. And that
Mm.
was the one and only bad experience. And then they followed me for a bit and it in my
I
car
remember
it
you
freaked
telling
me
me
out.
about that. I remember you
Not
telling me about
okay.
that. Yeah.
And that is my one and only I need to get
Um,
the fuck out of here experience
Right.
really downtown.
So, Lisa, I know you dived a little bit into it, but is there anything like any experiences you've had, like, did you felt uncomfortable walking through any part of a city or anything?
I mean, I'm a country mouse anyway. Like I don't like the idea of being in a big city. I don't generally feel comfortable in a big city walking around. I mean, I can do it, I will do it,
Mm-hmm.
but especially if you're on like really crowded streets, I don't like the idea of swarms of people being around me in any context.
Okay.
So that makes me nervous, especially if I don't know where I'm going. So it's like I kind of will drift to the side or I will wait for people to be ahead of me so I can go at my own pace.
Okay.
That's fair.
The most, it's interesting because the most uncomfortable I've ever been where I've extricated myself from a situation was in the movie theater.
Oh.
I went
Oh,
one
shit.
day to go see, I think it was Jigsaw. I think I was seeing the new Saw movie at the time.
Okay.
And I go to the movies by myself all the time, all the
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I like to sit in the back row because if I have to check my phone, if I'm checking Run P, my light doesn't bother people. So typically I sit on an end. I always sit in the back left corner. For this particular movie, I decided to sit in the middle. And as I was sitting there, like I look often at how many other people have bought tickets and reserved their seats.
Mhm.
And like the whole theater was open. And this dude came in and he sat literally in the seat to my left. I'm like, what is this?
What?
So I'm like, I am not a fan of this already.
What?
And so I'm trying to be polite. I'm like, whatever. And this is the problem, right? Women try and be polite. This is the whole basis
Yeah.
of the My Favorite Murder podcast, right? Like, fuck politeness, stay sexy, don't get murdered. So you sit there and you're like, I don't want this guy to know that I'm getting up and moving because of him. So I'm sitting there, this guy's mumbling to himself, he's mumbling to himself, he's mumbling to himself, and he's starting to get angry. And I don't know why he was getting angry.
Nope.
I don't know what he was getting angry at. But I eventually got up. Now, there's a couple other people in another row or whatever. I eventually got up and I moved and I sat in. So it was like 3 or 4 rows in the back section. And I went and sat in the front seat of that section right next to the stairs. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm sitting here. And so as I was sitting there for a while, he kept getting louder and he kept getting louder. And I finally went, nope. I got up,
No.
I went out, I asked for a manager. I said, here's what's going on. I said, I need a refund for my ticket because I cannot be in that theater right now. He's making me incredibly uncomfortable. Like, even if he went in and threw the guy out, I'd be panicked that the dude was waiting for me in the lobby.
Outside. Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
I need a
no.
refund. I'm going to come back another time. And I left. Like, I've never
Damn.
been so nervous before for my own well-being. And I mean, I'm not trying to like knock anybody because this guy may have psychological struggles, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
No.
You know what? You have your psychological struggles. If you're getting full on angry and I'm sitting next to you, I'm gonna move. But
yeah,
oh
I'm
my God.
sympathetic of mental health issues because I have like pretty severe, significant ones that like affect my life. That would be a hell no for me.
Yeah.
I'm just
Angry-
not doing it.
Angry, especially angry man. Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
I would be me too. I would be really uncomfortable with that if I was by myself and that I would be doing the same thing. I'd be getting the fuck out.
Yep.
I don't blame you at all. That's fucked.
I've never been in any kind of situation where it was that scary before, and I'm like,
yeah,
nope.
no, that's crazy.
I had a freaky situation at work the other night because I work at a gas station and I, work down at school. So, it's a small, very kind of conservative area. Like the college is super liberal, but then the area around us isn't. And like these people will come in open carry, which is fine, whatever.
That's nutty.
But it's always those guys, because I've never seen a woman open carry down there. It's always men.
Yeah,
It's
I'll know.
always
Yeah,
those
it is.
guys who get mad and angry at you as like a cashier for something. Like one night, a different store got caught not IDing. So when that happens, they call all the stores in the area and say, hey, you guys need to keep your guard up.
Right.
And so we got a call. So we were IDing everyone who came in for cigarettes, no matter how old you looked. And they had me at the register because I am not afraid to tell people, like, you need to get the fuck out. You're being belligerent. I'm not helping you. You need to leave. And that night, I got so cussed out and just like, you fucking bitch. I'm never coming back here ever again. I'm going, and I would tell them, I told the guy, I was like, good, go to Circle K.
Yeah.
We don't want you here.
Bye.
One guy's like, I come in here every night and you're never seeing me again. And I said, good, get out, like leave.
Yeah.
But I had a guy the other night where we were out of Marlboro Blacks.
Oh.
And he's like, are you fucking serious? How are you out of cigarettes? And I was like, well, we get our truck, I'm like, we get our truck every Friday.
Yeah.
And then, this is on Thursday. So I'm like, we get our truck every Friday, so we're out of cigarettes right now, but if you come back tomorrow, we should have them in stock. And I'm doing my like little customer service voice.
Oh, I would have been doing the same shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? He's just getting so angry. I was like, hey, sir, if you don't calm down, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store.
Oh my God.
I don't get how people get so angry about things at a gas station.
Yeah. Or anywhere, really.
I have never been that angry about anything in my entire life.
Right.
Much
I don't
less
think
about
I have.
cigarettes.
Yeah. Like, I'll get frustrated that it happened, but it's like, that's no one's fault. It just sucks that the situation happened. I'm mad at the situation, but I'm not mad at a person because it's not their fault.
Well, people take it
Also-
out on each other, and it's just, it's like,
Go to another gas station.
go somewhere. But
Go
the bottom
somewhere
line
else.
is, it's like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not like you deliberately ate all the cigarettes because you saw him coming in. I mean, it's such a stupid thing to get angry about, but
It is.
we also know what it's like when you have that last straw of the day or of the week, and you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
And I get that.
That being said, you don't yell at the person who's not
No.
who's not fault it is. Like, give me a break.
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
Or
It's-
argue with me. Like if I tell you we're out of this cigarette, don't say no, you're
I'm
not.
hiding them from you.
It's like
Do
you
you want to
didn't walk
smoke
in.
2 Marlboro Reds at a time? I mean, maybe we can work it out that way, or yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I'll offer alternatives, and people will be like, "Why would I want an alternative to my cigarette?" And it's like I don't know, man.
I'm trying to help
I'm just trying
because
to be
I
nice
don't
and customer servicey.
smoke. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you.
So,
Well, it's like I will sometimes, but not often. And it's like
Not enough that I have a brand.
not
Um,
enough that I care.
across the street from where I work is a gas station, and that's where I go to, like, get my drinks and like snacks and stuff because my job doesn't have vending machines for whatever reason. There's probably a reason, I don't know, but
You work for the government. That's the reason.
And away we go.
Government, yeah, government people can't have vending machines. Anyway, regardless, if I want to get like a pop, or I want to get a candy bar or something, I got to go across the street to this gas station. And so, inevitably, I try to time it because I go at different times to see something, and if I go anytime after 10 a.m., there's going to be a line. And the person in the front of the line is trying to get lottery tickets. And I'm frustrated at the person, not the gas state attendant. I just want to make this clear. Because what will happen, like 9 times out of 10, this is the situation. I'm usually the person right behind them too. And they'll be like, give me, and there's like a picture of all the scratch offs that are available, and it's like they have them numbered from like 1 to 32 or something.
Yeah.
And so they'll come up and they'll be like, give me like 4 number 8s and like 3 26s or whatever. And then the person will be like, oh, we're out of the 26s right now. And they'll be like, what? How do you? And then they stand there and they look at the thing.
It's a superstition. It's a thing.
And they're like, Meanwhile, 19 people is behind this person in line who are just trying to pay for gas. I'm just trying to get my snacks.
Yep.
And they're like, do you have a 32? And then the guy's like, no, we're out of 32s.
Oh, no.
And so
I
then
want you to imagine this perspective from the worker, because I
know.
I'm
It's gotta suck
every night.
It has to suck. I feel for you, Bear, 100%. I feel for you, because that has to suck so badly, because you can see the line and you just see this asshole just taking up all this time. And meanwhile, there's a line of people who are just
I'll tell people. I'm like, you need to, I'm like, okay, can you move aside really quick so I can help other people in line? Thank you so much.
My God.
Like, there's people just like, hey, can you put 20 on 8? That's all they want. Just fucking 20 on 8. That's all they want. And then like, nope, we got some asshole looking at a board. It's like, how about number 5s? I have 1 number 5. Oh, 1. All right. And it takes like 10 minutes. And I'm literally like just there, and I get a 15-minute break. So I'm already 10 minutes into my 15-minute break. And I'm like, come on, lady. Typically it's a lady. I don't know why it's a lady. It's always a lady. Usually the guy.
See, mine's always men.
That's weird. Like I've always had like, it's always been, and older ladies like who are in their 60s plus that are just like holding up the line for this. And I'm like, oh my God, lady, please just get something. I need to.
Mine's when people are like, yeah, I want 42 Powerball tickets, so I have to sit there and let each one print. I'm like, do you want them on the same or separate ticket? And they're like, separate. And it's like, God,
are
no.
you kidding? Why?
Oh, God damn it.
Or people will give us their phones and have us scan them on these QR readers. And if you've ever tried to scan a QR code off your phone,
it's awful.
Until it doesn't work. Yeah. So we have to hold it underneath this like scanner thing that we can't just take off the lottery machine.
Yeah.
And we just have to hold it there. And it's awful. But my store just sold a $50,000 winning lottery ticket.
Oh.
Allegedly.
No.
And people came in droves the last day I worked. Just
because they think that lightning is going to strike twice in the exact same spot.
I know. I'm like, it's not. I would never go to a place that sold a winning lottery ticket ever again.
No. But see, that's that mob mentality, you know, like they think that's what's going to help.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I feel for you as a gas station attendant.
The best night I have ever worked at a gas station was a night where both our lottery machine went down and our gas was out.
Oh no.
I was in paradise.
Nobody would come, right?
No one came.
Cigarettes.
But you had to tell people this, and then they get mad at you.
Someone posted it on the town chatter, like on the town Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And so
that's good at least.
We had yellow like bags on all the pumps, and then we had signs all over the door saying no lottery. No. So I got to sit in the kitchen and make a pizza because I had so much downtime.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, please, everyone out there listening, give gas station attendants patience.
Yes,
They're
give
trying to
every
help you.
customer service rep a break. Like come
I
on.
did have this thought like the other day. I was thinking about like the different
I
tiers.
haven't had a thought in a good 6 weeks. How'd you have a new one?
I don't know.
No, Lucky, share some of those.
You know what?
I don't want
plan
them.
on
They
it.
bring
I
trouble.
plan on it. Lisa, I'll send something in the mail.
No, I don't want it.
There's like different tiers to like jobs. I was just thinking about this because I was thinking about all my job history. And I was like trying to think, and I want to get your guys' opinion. And by the way, this is not like meaning to be like insulting or demeaning or anything. I respect every job I'm about to list here. But with that said, you have to admit that there are tiers. And I think the lowest
Lots of tears.
the lowest one has to be like maintenance / janitorial / garbage.
No, I respect them the
No.
most.
I get no. This isn't a respect thing. I understand.
American.
But like if you're sitting there thinking, what job do I want? The last one you probably want to do, take the payout for just a second, is anything to do with like trash or cleaning up after people.
People.
Right?
Actually applied for a lot of jobs that were janitorial because those jobs make it so you don't have to talk to people really.
Right.
You get to just put in headphones and clean.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I get that.
Slay, I do that anyways.
Right.
But here's how crappy those jobs are. They have to entice you with like $22 an hour.
Well, yeah.
Before you even think
You're
about
picking
it.
up after people. You deserve money.
For me, as someone who gets such like bad anxiety, that's great.
Yeah.
Like that's my dream job. They wouldn't have to. They could pay me $13.50 and I would do that shit.
Yep.
Wow.
Literally.
People who like trash collectors and that sort of stuff. They earn their money. Like
Yes.
It's a thing. So
And it's like,
God bless.
Okay, I'm getting paid $22 an hour, but the downside is my hands are going to smell like literal garbage for the rest of my life. so
it's
but
nutty.
that's on the bottom. Like we agree that's like the lowest tier. Like there's nothing lower than that. Like anyone would be like willing to do. Because I would say a step up above that, I would say would be fast food worker.
No. I honest to God, I think people look at elderly care and teaching as low on the totem pole. I think if you ask people about
That
the
low,
jobs
though?
that they don't want,
Teaching, I don't think as low. Elderly
That's not
care, I
that
can
low.
see.
I think people, yeah, but see, people look at teaching and they go, oh, it's an easy job. Ask them to do it and they go, oh, absolutely not. It's this weird, like, parallel perception where
I don't
they
think
think
it's as
we
low
do
as
nothing.
McDonald's.
No, I definitely
You
don't.
mean as far as respect goes, like people who do things that are respected? What
No,
Jobs
he
of,
doesn't
like-
mean respect. He
No,
means,
no.
like
the
things-
kinds of jobs you would like willingly take.
But the problem is that all this
But
is
see,
so
that's the respect
subjective.
thing because
I
you're
already
talking
disagree
about
with
talking
your
about
placement.
Okay.
you're talking about people's thoughts of themselves and whether
And
they
I-
would lower themselves.
I wanna
to
know-
play X job.
I want to note I worked at McDonald's for 10 years.
Sure.
I want to note this. So again, I'm not trying to insult anybody at all.
But it's still your personal, like for me, being a fast food worker is my worst nightmare. I can't work with food. I couldn't work as a waitress. I couldn't work as a waiter.
I
I
was
would
not
rather,
good as a waitress either.
I would rather not, I would rather be a janitor than I would working with food in any capacity. Because I
Okay,
don't
so
like
for
food.
you,
Yeah.
you switch them. You have fast food at the bottom, and then you have
I have
janitorial.
waitressing.
From what I've talked about so far, you have those two
Yeah.
switched. Okay. See,
Do we have
here's
to do this whole tier list? It's gonna take forever.
well, I can get through it really quickly. And I don't got a whole lot. So, and I'm also just basing on stuff that I've observed. I know there's 1,000 jobs that I've not even thought about or whatever. But I worked fast food and I'm not a fan of it. I would never want to go back. Even when I was unemployed, like a few months, like earlier this year, like I was unemployed for 3 months and like the thought of going to fast food never crossed my mind. Like I did not even think to like, no, I'm not doing that again. I would rather work at like a Best Buy rather than, which takes me to my next point. retail workers, which is the other job that I had. Now, I would probably put this a little bit like far above fast food workers, because retail workers, this is where respect comes in, because nobody respects retail workers.
No, they don't.
Nobody does. And it's a shame.
Yeah, they're the ones who get dumped on the most.
Yes.
I've like exclusively worked retail. And I think it's like permanently altered my self-worth.
Yeah.
And then somewhere up on the top tier, and again, I'm skipping over a lot of stuff just for time, is office work, which is what I'm currently doing. Because I think people, and I'm guilty of this myself. People are like, okay, office work. So you're in a building, you're at a desk in front of a computer, and then you just gotta just do something you don't gotta deal with public. I kind of have to deal with public, part of my job, but most office work, you don't gotta deal with public. So people think that's a cushy job, but then there's the other end of it where it's like, it could be very stressful, because my job can be stressful at times. Cause I deal, like, my job deals with the public, deals with people who need assistance with stuff. And, Lisa, if you had $0 in your bank account and you had no food, and you're depending on your state government to give you money so you can go get food, and then you get a letter in the mail that says, hey, on October 1st, you didn't turn in proof of something. I don't go into details, but something. Yeah. So we're not going to give you the money for food. How would you feel?
Panicked.
And maybe a little bit angry.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line, like and then you're going to call, and the poor schmuck on the other end is just somebody looking at numbers.
Hey, that's me.
Well, my husband works in that too. My husband's 9 to 5 is that kind of stuff too. Like, he's constantly got people yelling at him. He's like, look, all I can do is deal with the information that's in front of me.
Exactly.
Let me see what I can do to help you.
Yeah.
But
no, exactly.
This is not the person who made X decision. No. It's somebody who now is in the same position you are, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is happening too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think people just need to, like, the point of all of this was just think about other people in these jobs, and how would you react to either as low as like a janitor, garbage man type, or as high up as like an office person, and just think about for a second, like, their lives, and where would you put yourself in?
Right.
That's all I was saying. That was the whole point.
I mean, one of the first rules of education is you make friends with the custodians and the secretaries, because they're the ones who run that building.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
100%,
I agree.
They run that building.
Yes.
As a student,
agree.
Even I befriended all the secretaries at every school I ever went to, because they are the ones who will tell you when shit's going down.
Yep.
They're the ones who will give you free shit when they have it. They're the ones who will, like, if you get in late or you get in early, they'll be like, like, it's fine.
Right? My last office job that I had before the one I got now, I had to deal with businesses and schools. Like, a lot of the customers that job had involved schools, because it involved printers. And I would talk to, like, a lot of secretaries. And yeah, they had their shit, like, down. Like, they knew everything. Like, they knew, because some schools would have multiple printers, obviously, because they're, bigger schools. So, like, I would get a phone call from her secretary, and she's like, so printer number, and there'd be like a 4-digit number, is out of black toner, but we're good on the red and yellow and blue. But then printer number and another number, is, we need the red. And so, and like, it was just like so succinct, and she knew what the fuck was going on. And I bet if I talked to the principal of that building or a superintendent, they would have no clue what's going on with those fucking printers.
No.
I think one time I did have a principal call, and I asked, like, oh, okay, which printer needs the black ink? And he was like, the big one.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, dude, can I get your secretary on the line?
Yeah.
So I agree. All right, cool.
I do
Well,
think teachers
okay.
aren't respected. I will say, to Lisa's point earlier, I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
make it sound like
Oh, I
don't
agree.
think teachers are as respected as
No,
they should be.
I agree
Because
too.
teaching sucks. I have a friend right now who's student teaching, and they say it is the most, and they're like good at it. You know, they're doing fine. They have like all their checks and stuff. They've done amazing. They love doing it, but they say it's the most stressed out they've ever been in all of college.
Mm-hmm.
You know why teaching sucks outside of not getting paid enough? But you know why all of that sucks? Because kids suck.
No, I don't even, because when I did my student teaching, it wasn't the kids, it was the parents.
That's the reason that's for the reason.
Okay,
it
50-50.
was
50-50.
administration.
50-50.
No, I like kids.
Most
love
teachers,
spending time with kids. It was the administration and parents.
I'm not a fan of kids, so
and that's why you're not a teacher.
That's
you know,
why.
but
That's
it's
why
like
you don't. That's why you have no drive to go into education.
No.
you know, my mother twisted her knee. My mother's a retired educator. I'm a current educator, and we had to go to the emergency room because she twisted her knee. And we were speaking with one of the nurses who was dealing with a family who was very loud and pretty disrespectful to her. And we were just like, you know, she would come to us eventually and she's like, I'm so sorry I'm taking so long. It's like, we get it. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's just
thing.
what it is. And it was, you know, like she would chat with us and eventually came to like, I don't know how you do your job. And she's like, I don't know how you do your job. Like, between nurses and teachers, we're like, I don't know how you're doing your thing.
No, yeah.
You know, for teaching, it's mostly everything except the kids. Because all the other crap that we have to deal with, all the other paperwork elements, all the other people looking down our backs, I was watching a reel this morning and it was like, you know what makes teachers tired? All the different stakeholders we have to answer to, and every single one of them wants something different out of you and they want it 2 days ago. It's just kind of like,
Real.
you know, like your brain gets tired. And then, oh wait, you still have to teach, you know, 150 kids by 2:00. So it's interesting. We're currently looking at the worry of how to deal with kids using AI to like
That's
do
been
their
a
work
problem
for
at
them.
my college, to the point
Yeah.
of where professors who used to do like take-home essays are making people like aren't doing take-home essays anymore because
Right.
students were using AI. And I had my advisor actually had a student use AI on a final,
Oh yeah.
and he after that has switched entirely to like handwritten,
In
because
class.
before he let it handwritten in class and before it was typed take home.
Right.
And it
Well,
really
because
sucks
we
for
don't
me.
have time. We have to
No.
teach in very limited time frames. And so now we can't even trust that a number of students will go home and actually try. Like there's this interesting setup that has occurred where kids don't try. They're just like, well, I'll just do this and it's easier.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm all for shortcuts. I am, if I'm having trouble on a homework assignment, Lord knows I'm Googling that shit and seeing
Of
if someone has
course
made a
you are.
Quizlet. But
that's to help you do better. That's not to do the
Yeah.
work for you.
in the end of the day, when it comes to like tests and stuff, I'm not gonna say I have never ever in my life cheated on a test.
Mhm.
Because that would be false.
Exactly. I mean, it
But-
happens.
But it's usually like my own study guide
Right.
that I'm looking off of, or
But
my own notes that I wrote and put in my sleeve. Like you know, there's old-fashioned ways.
It's so great. But I mean, see what you're
Back in my
talking about.
day.
You're talking about. So what you're doing, aside from the cheat sheet in your sleeve, what you're talking about doing is not cheating. That's called learning. That's I don't
Yeah.
know, so I'm going to look it up. So in my day, because I'm 80, we didn't have Google didn't exist yet. So if I didn't know something, I would get the textbook, I would look it up, I'd be reading information over because I had to reteach myself how to do whatever it was. I'd have to read my notes and then, okay, let me see if I can do the thing. Now you just Google it, it comes to you and you say, okay, but then you actually do the practice of applying whatever skill it is. The kids are just not doing that.
There's
And
also
so-
like,
Go ahead.
so like when I was in high school, I could look up most of my homework answers and get them because a lot of teachers just use like teacher pay teacher and
Yes,
stuff.
they do.
And so people would make Quizlets of answer sets of just like, here's this exact question, here's this exact
Right.
answer, especially in AP classes.
And that's,
Um,
I absolutely fall into that. The practice sections in College Board's AP classroom. They just Google the answers because somebody has put them out there. And I'm like, well, this is doing you absolutely no favors, because now when you take the actual exam, you're not going to have any skill.
See, I had a class though where he gave us so much busy work that I
I
did
hate
start
that.
doing that.
Yep.
But I got a 5 on that exam.
Good. Because you did the work on top of it, though.
And note for listeners, a 5 on AP is like the best you can get.
It's hard. It is hard to get a 5
I got
on an AP
all
exam.
5s my senior year
That's
on all
amazing.
like 6 or 7 exams I took. And it was like the best rush of serotonin and dopamine I've ever gotten in my life.
You've earned it. You've earned recognition for the work you put in. But I mean, like, so I teach literature. I teach AP literature. You will not pass that class if you don't do any reading all year.
No, I love that class because that's one of the ones I took my senior year. You have to read.
Because if you don't read, you will not be able to take an excerpt on the spot and understand it on the spot, because you haven't taken a year's worth of take your time reading to train your brain to be better. So if you cut corners in that, so I don't even care about writing a paper or what all this other stuff, but it's like, if you don't participate in a discussion, if you don't take some notes while you're reading and jot stuff down, if you don't go back and read those notes again to refresh your memory, you will not get better, you know. And this is what they disconnect on it, because you're shortcutting all the way along, but then the whole purpose of preparing you to make those mistakes and to screw up with support, now you're going to lose it entirely, because you're going to come out with a 1 on that exam because you don't know how to read complex texts. But
dumbass.
It's upsetting.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like us to not talk about this anymore?
We're over time, but it's okay.
I sat patiently while you talked about Indianapolis.
Yeah, she did.
Can I say one more
I'm
thing?
with Lisa.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Okay. What makes me saddest, not necessarily just as a teacher, but as a person, is when people brag that they don't read.
Yeah. That's so weird. Jason, you could be involved in this one.
Like, people brag. I have teachers. I know you do. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that's why you could be involved in this.
In my building who tell kids, I haven't read a book in 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they brag about it. I'm like,
I don't
what
understand
are you
that.
doing? That's not something to be proud of. Like, I'm not saying people need to read 100 books a year. You know, you don't have to. But to tell students that I don't read things. Yes, you do, because you're reading the news. You're reading it. You are reading. You're reading a fiction book that you're turning your nose up at.
Yeah.
But you are reading, and you're teaching these kids not to. So it upsets me. That's my soapbox. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't get what that's about at all. That's weird. A lot of good books out there.
This, if you will indulge me for a quick second to be stupid. Hang on.
Oh, wow.
There are books on my desk here.
Okay.
There are books on my desk here. There's a book there.
Real.
There are books piled up over there.
Mm.
My house is book piles. That is furniture to me, and I love it, and it makes me so happy. So I just find a book. Find a story. I don't know.
Hey, there are a lot of great books out there, and I've written 3 of them, so.
There you go. See?
Great. No, kidding.
All right. On that note, it's time for the mixtape.
Don't ever whisper that ever again, please.
It's time for the mixtape.
Ew.
Stop that.
Ew, it's kind of creepy.
We're gonna get
It's kind of creepy. I'm trying to get away from it, but I forget that it's my headphones. So if I move, the headphones go with me.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Silver Hour. It's Jason here. We're gonna get sexy with our music today.
No, stop that immediately,
Lisa.
expeditiously.
Lisa, what song do you got for us?
Nothing now.
My ears are bleeding. They can't.
You guys never need to tell me not to do something because you know I will do it.
Because we are mature adults. I am choosing for the mixtape today A song that most people probably don't know. It kind of showed up on Alt Nation either earlier this year or last year, and it was a very small band, but it's on my playlist. It's always on my playlist since then, and I just really kind of get a kick out of it. It's called Hush, and the band is called the Marias.
Ooh, yeah, I've not heard of
Something
them.
a little different and out of the ordinary.
Deep cut.
Yeah, it's a cool song.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. So you said the band is called the Marias. Is that what you said?
Marias,
Okay.
and the song is called Hush.
Hush. Got it. Okay. Excellent. Awesome. I look forward, as always, to hearing that when I edit this. I'm trying to think how many times someone's put a song on there that I knew just by the name. Probably 10.
Well, with me, you tend to know some of them.
Yeah.
Although if I'm doing new stuff, you tend to not know it. If I do 90s stuff, you know it.
Mary would always Mary was 50-50 because it would either be it would be
to deliberately dig back, though.
It would be bands that I've heard of, always bands, but then she would pick the most deepest cut from an album that no one's ever heard of from this band. Right. So she would always draw from Pink Floyd, but it would be the non-popular Pink Floyd albums and songs. And I'll put song in one instance as a quote because there's a song that's not a song from them.
Right.
But go back and look for that episode. My reaction was okay. I decided to do something a little bit older this time. I don't think I've ever done a 60s song, or at least I haven't done one in a while. So I'm going to go back to the 60s. This song came out in 1965. Very popular artist who's still alive today. He's a pretty cool dude, Stevie Wonder. And I am doing Uptight, Everything's All Right. I fucking love this song. It is a jam.
It is a good song.
Every time it comes up, I turn it up and I'm just jamming around the house or wherever the hell I'm at, which makes listening to this in a park very awkward. But I love this song. So that is my mixtape pick for this episode. We are going to take a break. When we come back, are assholes going to be on TV? We investigate. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Lisa Leahy, and I'm the host of Pictures and Conversations, a rabbit hole book club. Each month on the 20th, I'm joined by a group of fellow book lovers, and we discuss a book in our typically nerdy fashion.
As we continue to not talk about the book that we're not supposed to talk about.
Anyway. I admittedly, too, I'm totally weird about the way I read things. Sometimes I just completely devour books, and I'm usually reading 3 or 4 at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I just pick up whatever strikes my mood. I have something I read before I go to bed, and I read murder mysteries before bed.
But I liked it good enough. No, it doesn't go super deep into developing these characters. Definitely not. Is it Harry Potter for adults? Absolutely not.
Anyway, you can find Pictures and Conversations, a rabbit hole book club podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts, or on our home website, rabbitholepodcasts.com.
Okay, we are back. Hey, this week's Patreon exclusive. We are going to see how Bear, Lisa, and I work as a throuple. You are going to want to check this out. Go to patreon.com/rabbitholepods for one single solitary dollar. You can go check that out. So I was checking the news the other day and I heard something interesting. There is a subreddit called Am I the Asshole that is going to be turned into a TV show. So I got the post here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a very long post. So basically the guy that created the subreddit, is, making a deal, with TBS, to turn the Am I the Asshole subreddit into a show. Is it
a talk show? Like a panel TV show?
It's kind of. So what the description is in the post is it's going to be, he's looking for people to come on to share their stories. And I'm thinking it's going to be kind of it's going to look how I'm envisioning panel. It. Yeah, I'm envisioning it kind of like one of those game shows where you got guess somebody does something. That's how I'm envisioning it. How the stage would look and everything. Maybe I just got too much of a producer's mind. I don't know, but
it seems to me like it would work like a what was the name of that show? Not Password. Do you know which one I mean? That had all the celebrity.
Oh, it was like well, there's a few I could think of, either Match Game or To Tell the Truth.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
where you've got one person.
That's what I was picturing.
There, and then you're going to have a bunch of panelists.
That's what I was picturing myself.
Chiming in on it. What I don't understand. So I guess it would have to be a talk show, not a game show.
Well, no, I mean, not
going to win.
Well, not a game show. I just use that as an example of what the structure would look like. But I'm thinking it'd be like a person, like, someone will come up and they'll tell their story. And then they'll have either, I'm going to assume celebrities. I'm just going to assume they're going to get like Drew Carey.
I feel like that's the only thing to get people to come in.
Whoever to come on and have to determine if this person's story or if that person is the asshole.
Like a lit sign.
You are the asshole. Yes.
And some sort of ejector seat to shove him out of the seat.
I would watch if that's what they do.
Get the Fallout guys. Wait, not Fallout. Wipeout. The Wipeout guys.
Yeah.
To make the obstacle course. Banana cream pie to the face. You're the asshole.
You are the asshole. Get out of here.
That would be funny as hell.
So that's gonna come up sometime in the future.
I feel like that's gonna blow up. And then after a month,
I think
people are going to be like, this is dumb.
See, I'm already against it. I hate monetizing things, like, to an extreme extent.
You're in the wrong country.
I know. So I don't like that it's being monetized, because it's like...
Because it's going to go away. That means that Reddit thread is going to disappear, because it's going to become a thing.
Well, so I just want to say this, and then I'll get to the main part of the show that I'm about to do here, is they are looking for people. If you go to the Reddit, they got a pin on the very top. It says, it's titled, "Am I the asshole for bringing the sub to TV? Let's find out." So there's details in that post about how if you want to go on the show and tell your story, they tell you everything that you need to know there. But what I thought would be fun is, I haven't done this in a while. We haven't done this in a while. Let's read some Am I the Asshole stories and determine if these people are the assholes.
Let's be our own celebrity panel.
So this first one is called, "Am I the asshole for explaining to my uncle's family how cameras work?" I'll try to jump around, but I'm just going to start here. "I work as a professional photographer. Nothing fancy. Mostly I just take pictures of industrial sites or construction projects. I also do wedding photography as a side hustle, but it is not really something I do a lot of. I do, however, get roped into being the photographer at family get-togethers. My grandparents on my dad's side just celebrated their 60th anniversary, and we had a family reunion to celebrate. I got voluntold." I don't know if that's a typo or that's a word.
No, you've never heard that?
That's a word. Voluntold. It's like
voluntold.
You theoretically are volunteering, but you're not really volunteering.
Yeah,
you're being
says,
told
"Hey, this would be really great if you volunteer for this," and you have to fucking do it.
That happens to me all the time. I had no idea there was a word for that.
That's absolutely a word.
Okay, cool. I learned something today. I got voluntold that I was the official photographer, but I didn't mind. I spent the day taking candid pictures of everyone, and then we had a setup for family pictures. We had a bench for my grandparents. Okay, that's not important. My one uncle, though, seemed to be still salty for when I did my cousin's wedding pictures. He was still upset that the formals weren't as professional as they should have been. People looking away or people with their mouths open and such. The thing is, it was his fault. He was supervising, and he would not shut up and stop distracting people. So when I did his family group, I reminded them all to look at the camera and explained that it only took still photos. So if they chose to look away or talk, that was going to be the image I recorded. They all shut up and looked at the camera. At the end, when I did the huge family shot with everyone, I reminded everyone to look at the black thing on front of them and not to talk during the picture, or that would be in the image. Afterwards, my uncle said I embarrassed him by making him and his family look stupid and like they didn't understand how a camera worked. I said he was the one who brought up his daughter's wedding pictures not being great. I reminded him that he was the one standing to the side, distracting people or talking to them. So obviously he did not know how camera worked if he thought that those images were my fault. He told my dad I was being disrespectful. am I the asshole?
No.
What do you guys think?
No.
No.
A stupid
No.
piddly fight.
Because I also have done like wedding photography on the side with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
People, you sometimes have to be like, hey, friends, just a reminder, smile right here, like, look here, and stop talking, please.
Yeah,
Like, it's just like the nature of doing even with my friends doing photography, I have to be like, hey, dumbass, look over here.
I mean, it's great because when you do a class picture with the seniors, they put all of the seniors in the bleachers in the gym. And nobody pays attention. And the photographer is on top of a huge ladder. He's got lights set up everywhere. And my favorite moment is when he flashes the lights at them and they all flip out because they think he's taken the picture and they weren't ready. And he does it in order to get their attention.
Nice.
It's my favorite part because they all go, oh, and he's like, it's not the picture yet. But now that I have your attention, everybody look here. It's really funny because
that's hilarious.
It's you get one shot, you don't get 15 pictures, and you might get a picture where you weren't paying attention. They're called candids.
Yes.
Get over it. You know, this is not relevant for this particular thread. I think this is, and he you said, am I the asshole for telling my family how a camera works? I thought he literally was like getting down to the minutia of film and editing.
So did I.
No, this is dumb. This is a stupid argument. His uncle is embarrassed. No, he wasn't being disrespectful. He was doing the job he was being paid for. Get over it.
I agree with you guys. If you know, the uncle was making such a huge deal before, I'm that much of a troll where I would be like, okay, no. So I'm going to go through every single step about how a camera works.
Oh, that's boring. You know, you have too many things to do. Not worth it.
That's what I agree. I don't think he's an asshole. So
no.
I agree.
No, I think if anything, the uncle's the asshole for bringing up the other.
Oh, 100%. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, clearly he wasn't drunk enough to not remember that incident. So, like, who cares?
Right.
Everybody at a wedding is drunk.
We need an open bar.
Like, hey, yahoos, look here.
Yes, I agree. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for wanting my girlfriend to stop setting her alarm extra early only to keep hitting snooze?
Oh my God, this is every married couple everywhere.
I, a 33-year-old male, and my girlfriend, 32 female, moved in together a couple of months ago, and everything has been good so far except for one thing. We both have to be at work at 8. My job is less than a mile away, so I get up at 7. Hers is about a half-hour commute, so she naturally gets up earlier. But here's the thing. Instead of doing it the usual way, she will set her alarm for 5:30 or 5:40 and then keep hitting snooze until 6:30.
Oh, fuck you.
Or she'll set it for 5:30 and then reset it a half hour later and so on. No. Sometimes she'll get up at 5:30 and lay in bed looking at news or memes or whatever on her phone. And when she does that, she usually falls back asleep with no alarm set until either I wake her up or she wakes up to my alarm in a panic. The snooze button or the reset are annoying, but this one is the worst because when she does it, I am now automatically lying there awake until she either gets out of bed or usually falls back asleep so I can wake her up. Because if I do try to go back to sleep, that's in the back of my mind and I'm all restless. So am I the asshole?
No.
I'm gonna first, no.
She's being disrespectful is what's happening there.
Jesus.
Because I snooze, but I will snooze only twice. And that's it. And the only thing is, like, I actually bought an alarm clock. It's one of those light simulator alarm clocks.
Okay.
Where the light gradually comes on to help me, like, wake more naturally. Oh. And it's the greatest damn thing I've ever bought because I have to get up roughly around 5:30 in the morning, and in the dead of a New England winter, that's brutal, absolutely brutal, because you are being ripped out of a sound sleep. And I've been using an app called Sleep Cycle that gives you a 20-minute time frame to wake you up. This thing with the light, it gradually comes on, so I end up waking up naturally, sometimes a couple minutes before the alarm. So what I tend to do, like, the sound is like chimes. And so I'll have that.
You should send me a link to this.
I'm going to. I'm telling you, this is the greatest thing ever. As somebody who cannot wake up, it's fantastic. So use chimes, and so at most I will snooze twice, and that's it. And I will hit that button, the light goes off, we're done. So Neil doesn't even notice. But Neil uses the friggin' submarine dive alert sound on his iPhone. And if you don't know what this thing sounds like, you'll give me a couple of seconds to bring it up for you. And he will hit the snooze button. And he will snooze 5 fucking times. No, if you are not an adult enough to get up, then that's a problem that you need to fix. You should not be tormenting somebody else with your inability to be an adult. I don't respect it.
I'm someone who's very like sleepy all the time, but in the mornings, I wake up, my alarm goes off, and I am up and ready. My girlfriend is not like that.
Oh.
She is sleepier than me. When she has trouble getting to sleep, and then when she sleeps hard.
Yes.
So waking her up is like near impossible. And so every time I spend the night with her, it's like I'll be like, okay, let's get up at this time so we can go do this. And she's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, okay, so you need to set the alarm, hun, 3 hours early, because legitimately one day we had to go somewhere. We were waking up at 11 to go somewhere at 1.
Yeah.
We didn't get up out of bed until like 3 o'clock.
Oh, stop.
Because she just would not wake up. Like I could not she would like sit up and fall asleep sitting up. And I would have to
I'd have to leave without her because I can't.
No, I had to I would like lay her back down and be like, hey, hon, you're kind of freaking me out, babe.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
Oh my God, woman.
Get ready. Here it comes.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
That sucks. Nope.
This. Snoozing.
It did it for like 4 seconds.
No.
And then Zoom automatically was like, hell no.
No, that's annoying.
I will kill him. Like, no.
See, I just have the standard iPhone alarm, but now every time someone else uses the standard iPhone alarm, I'm like,
You guys want to know what I use as my morning alarm?
Yes. I don't hate that.
I do. If I woke up to this, I'd think I'd enter the pearly gates. I'd be like, what the
Get the fuck out
fuck?
of Let's go. Get up, and then they got go up. Gotta wake up.
See, I need this on the way to school. I do not need this to fucking wake me up.
Yeah, this is too much. This is too much for me right now at 12:29 p.m.
Get up, bitch. That is not my alarm. I just heard that song before and I thought it was funny.
Okay. I used to have Good Morning by the Beatles as my alarm. Dun 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 dun. Good morning. Now every time I hear that song, like dun 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 dun, I like wake up and I'm like, oh God.
You just startled. Yeah. No, I get that.
I do on my birthday set my alarm to be Happy Birthday by the Beatles.
Oh, that's cute.
This is a side tangent, but
birthday.
And Bear's gonna know this, but at Staples, we had a device where anytime there was an online order, there would be this sound that went off. So what you need to know, however, is that these devices were like disabled iPhones. So they would use like the built-in alarms that were in iPhones. Now, imagine going into normal life, just wandering around somewhere, and you hear that fucking sound. Something inside of you, when you are like conditioned to go pick up this device to go get an online order, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm like in a park right now. Why am I panicking?
Do you know how much it freaked me out working at Staples and having an iPhone with the default sound settings? Because they just use the default sound settings for iPhone. So every time one of those went off, I'd be like, my phone is going, my alarm. Or I'd be like, or I'd be at home and I'd wake up and be like, there's an online order. I don't know how to fulfill this. Because I never like learned how to do my job at Staples. So I would like wake up like, oh my God, I don't know how to do an online order. And then I'd be like, oh, never mind.
This is true. Bear had the shittiest training at Staples, and I didn't find this out till like 2 months into knowing them.
I had one day of training where they didn't teach me anything, and then they had me train other people, and I I was like,
It was so fucking stupid when I was told this. I was
can
like,
teach
what?
you how to use the cash register,
I was like, what?
and that's all I can do.
That's nuts.
So, all right, I'm gonna do one more. This is the last. I only had one more. This is the last one. We'll do this one really quickly. Am I the asshole for backing out of a wedding because they want to screen me? I, a 27-year-old female, have been invited to my friend Tom, 32 male, has a +1 to his older brother's wedding, 36 male. Tom and I met at a party, and we have been friends for 10 years. He asked me out when we first met, and I said no. He's been in a few relationships over the years and had a long-term girlfriend for 4 years. Tom broke up with his long-term girlfriend in March and asked me out quite a few times afterwards. This caused tension with our friendship, but the last time we spoke about it, he seemed to understand that I wasn't interested and a relationship with me was never going to be on the table. His family had been putting pressure on him settling down and getting married, especially since his brother got engaged. He asked me if I could be his +1 to his big brother's wedding so he wouldn't go alone, and I reluctantly said yes. Tom told his brother about me, and his brother said he'd like to meet me before the wedding in case it's awkward, and he doesn't want anyone ruining his wedding. I thought this was a tad strange because I'm only a +1. I'm not part of the wedding party, but I said sure, arrange something if you want to. Tom's brother has since told his mother and father about me. Now his mother wants to meet me before the wedding too, as Tom said, just to make sure you'll fit in with everyone. I feel like I'm being screened, and I'm finding it kind of offensive. I'm starting to think maybe Tom has implied I'm more than a friend to his family. It's making me uncomfortable. So would I be the asshole if I pulled out of the wedding, or is this normal and I'm being overly insensitive or overly sensitive? Sorry.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Not the asshole. And don't spend time
going
alone
as
with
a
Tom.
favor. Fuck that.
That's
No.
wild.
I don't think. Also, cut Tom off, because if he didn't understand it 10 years ago and he doesn't understand it now, he's never going to understand it. You don't need to be alone with him for safety reasons, and you don't need to. He's definitely told his mom that something's up, because the only reason I think they're screening is because they're like, oh, this is a long-term partner who we want in the wedding photos. You know, because it's like the thing, if a couple breaks up, then you have to crop them out of the wedding photos.
Yeah.
I think that's what's up. I don't like that.
I agree.
No.
I'm in agreement. It has, from a guy's perspective, what Tom is doing is he's in love with this person, the creator. What else is it called? Thank you.
OP.
I was trying to think what the fuck they call it. Yeah, the OP. He's in love with her, and is trying to to keep her in his life. He's like, no, that's fine. You don't want to date me. Meanwhile, he's like, oh, I met this great woman. Oh my God, we were hitting off so well. We've been dating for X amount of time, and I'm going to bring her to the wedding. I want you guys all to meet her. And that's why they're like, let's check her out. I want to see what she's about. I think that's what's going on. And I agree. If the OP has no interest in this guy, and it really sounds like she does not, she should just cut him off, because obviously it's just going to get worse.
I have a simpler take on this.
Okay.
If you invite somebody to go to a wedding with you, you ask nothing of them. You ask them to dress nice. You don't ask them for some of the gift for money for the gift that you're going to give, whatever. You're inviting somebody to go with you to help you feel less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If he's making her feel uncomfortable before they even go, nope. Just don't go. Period. End of sentence. Because it's weird to go to a wedding when you don't know anybody anyhow.
Oh, I agree.
And the fact that the person she knows is making her uncomfortable, absolutely not. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Done. There's no. I am at an age where I am done doing shit that makes me uncomfortable because of what other people think of me. I'm done.
Okay.
Do not go.
Well said. Could have said it better myself. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's probably what the show is going to be like when they actually produce that TV show. That's probably what it'll be.
They need me on that show.
But the person who's asking this is going to physically be there. So that's going to add a layer.
The same way.
There's going to be a layer of awkwardness, because you got to say upfront to this person, hey, you are the asshole.
She's not, though.
No. Not her.
The guy was the posting. Oh,
No,
I'd be all
no.
over his ass.
I'm
Yes.
talking about some person that's on the TV show.
You
They're telling
dumb
a
fuck.
story.
No, I know that.
You're gonna be like, you're an asshole. Get the fuck off my
See, the
stage.
problem is this is on TBS. This is going to be censored.
I don't know. It depends on when they air it, because TBS
They can't say the way we're reacting. Of
You
course,
would-
you're the
you would
asshole, you
think.
dumb fuck.
You would
can't
think.
put that on
You would
TV.
think, but I think if they do it late enough, they might be able to get away with it.
Maybe.
So, all right. Well, we went a little bit over time, but that's okay. Let's wrap up the show, shall we? Whatever, with Jason Soto, hosted by me, Jason Soto, co-hosted by these two awesome. I'm in a nice mood today. These two awesome people, Lisa Sally Haynes and Bear. Thank you,
My
guys.
neck.
Don't twist your neck, Lisa.
No, I cracked it. It was great. It felt good.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Twist your neck all you want.
I did see The Exorcist twice this week, so.
Oh, fair enough. Did you split out pea soup while you're at it? Okay, cool. You can find me on Twitter at the moment at Famous Comedian. I don't know when Twitter's going to explode. Probably anytime soon, because asshole wants to start charging for it. So we'll see how that goes. I am on Blue Sky. If anyone's lucky enough to have Blue Sky, you can find me there at Famous Comedian. And I'm still on Threads, even though I don't use it. And I think that fad has gone away, but you can look for me there.
I don't think it was ever a fad, so we're just going to keep on going.
Yeah, I never even got
There
it.
was a rush exodus to Threads when that happened, and people were talking about it for a week, and then it just disappeared.
Nobody cares. I don't even think Blue Sky's going to end up going anywhere. It's all just going to die.
I do not want to get into it because it's a very long story, but my main Facebook account is locked. So I created a second account, and when I post into the rabbit hole group, it does not get enough attention. So if you see a weird version of Jason Soto on Facebook, that is me. With that said, go check out the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/rabbit hole pods. Oh yeah. In about 2 weeks from today. Yes, 2 weeks from today. So that means we're going to have to skip a recording of whatever. So I'll figure that out later. Anyway,
well, unless you prioritize us and we get to get it scheduled first.
Are doing a Dark Hole Film Fest 4.
Dun dun dun.
Another one. Dark Hole Film Fest is a film festival thing that I do on Twitch every 6 months. I do one in October and then I do one in April. And it's just 12 hours of watching really silly, weird, crappy movies that I own. And rabbit hole people come in and out, and it's on Twitch. You can go check it out. Go check out Rabbit Hole Pods on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rabbit Hole Pods. Follow there. And on the 21st of October at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time is when it'll start, and we go until midnight. So that's going to be fun. I cannot wait. I'm going to announce the movies on a Twitch stream. I have not been able to figure out a date yet for when I'm going to announce the films. I may have to do it on a random, like, fucking Wednesday, because I got stuff happening. So, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, October 21st, go check it out. Where did I leave off? Also, go to rabbitholepodcast.com and check out every other show that we got going on there. A lot of great shows, a lot of new stuff. We got Hearsing Around about dead celebrities, time travel movie show. We got an MST show. There's a book club that Lisa hosts. A lot of good stuff. rabbitholepodcast.com. You can find our show on Spotify, Anchor, Amazon, Google, and Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you find high-quality podcasts like this one. The mixtape intro song was made by a friend of the show, Lackey. Thank you so much, Lackey. You are talented. The beginning and ending song is Liam Lynch's United States of Whatever from the album Fake Songs. Liam Lynch, you are also talented. Thank you. Patreon. You guys are fucking awesome. Chris R. from AfroCredits.com and now from Hearsing Around. Thank you so much.
Chris R.
The Vern from Cinema Recall and Tales from the Double R. Thank you so much. The mysterious benefactor known as Silent Partner. Thank you so much, Silent Partner.
He's
You're
doing the
doing a good
ASMR
job.
thing again.
I'll do the rest of these. I'll do the rest of my day. Carl, thank you so much, Carl, for being a Patreon member. You are so cool. Thank you so much, Carl. Richard Kirkham, you are such a cool dude. Thank you so much, Richard Kirkham. Bear,
Oh, we're losing all of our. Oh, yeah, it's no problem.
Thank you so much, Bear, for being a Patreon member. Sherry Coons, thank you so much to Sherry Coons. Isabel from Hersing Around, thank you so much. In my defense, she joined Patreon before she became a podcast host, so there's that. Brenda, thank you so much to Brenda. Lackey, thank you so much to Lackey. Tim
Whatever
Hodges.
with Jason Soto is brought to you by Lackey, who also does the music, and the music is by Lackey. And then Lackey is also a Patreon who does things for Lackey.
I think Lackey does things for Lackey quite often.
That bit was written by Lackey.
Tim Hodges, thank you so much to Tim. Thank you so much. And Toby, thank you so much. You guys are fucking awesome. If you want to support us by going, you can support us by going to patreon.com/rabbitholepods. $1. I lowered it to $1. You can join us. You can check out stuff. You can watch the Patreon exclusives, all kinds of great shit over there. Lisa, Bear, thank you guys so much for doing the show with me. I appreciate you guys as always. Everyone out there, thank you very much for listening. Wash your goddamn hands and keep your head in the clouds and your feet in the mud. Adios. Copyright 2023 Rabbit Hole Podcasts, rabbitholepodcasts.com.